All right, thank you, Ashley. Next up is Terésa Dowell-Vest. She's an academic who loves Superman. Let's give it up.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Terésa Dowell-Vest, and I am a teacher. I teach at the University of Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia, and I teach a course called From the Drinking Gourd to Black Twitter, Social Communication for Social Change. And in this class, I have an amazing group of students. They're athletes, they're scholars, they're thinkers. And one day, in the midst of having this deep and delicious discussion, I had this epiphany. Because we were talking about the Underground Railroad and how it was the epitome of social network. And we discovered that Frederick Douglass was a blogger. Not in the sense that we think of today, but in the fact that he was expressive and passionate. He said what was on his mind, and he used his words for change. He forged networks and relationships, one person at a time. And then all of a sudden, we look up, and there's this movement to free people in America. That was the power of his words and his books. And at its core, he was a blogger. So I'm asking you to consider the fact that we have not invented social communication, social networking. We have inherited it. Now, what are we going to do with it, right? What are we going to do next? Well, we're lesbians who tech. Absolutely. But are we lesbians who connect? Are we using our skill set and our voices to put together a message and move forward community and change from a way that's applicable for us today? So first we have to identify what connects us to one another, and then recognize that tech thrives best when incorporating the humanities, and then finally forge new relationships that bring the change we want to see. Since the beginning of time, we've been storytellers. It's what we do naturally. We tell stories. And it is evident in everything from the paintings in old caves and the songs, the Negro spirituals that slaves used to sing in the fields. It's evident in the speeches that were shouted from the mountaintop about our dreams and aspirations. That's the humanities. It's in our hip hop and the defiant bravado of fuck the police. And it's in our hashtag activism, where we're talking about what's on the ground, what's happening on the ground well before the news get there to share what's happening on the ground. And what connects all of these things are the humanities. It's art, it's music, it's film, it's theater, it's books, it's blogs, it's tweets, it's love letters, it's hate mail, it's snail mail, all artifacts of the humanities. So are we infusing, however, the humanities into our tech so that it's reaching young people? I mean, imagine what could have happened if Frederick Douglass had his hands on something like Facebook or Twitter and reached out to the world and said, all of our lives matter. That's essentially what he was saying. So what are you saying? How are you using your words? Frederick Douglass used his words for freedom. Susan B. Anthony used her words so that we could all be among the counted. Right? Harvey Milk used his words for equality. Audre Lorde used her words for empowerment. Gandhi used his words for peace, and Martin Luther King used his for justice. What are you using your words for? What are you using your power and technology for? Yeah, I love dink-danking behind my device, but when are you going out and meeting the people? Right? Technology is a science. It's a great invention of our creativity. It's evidence of our intellect. But the humanities move revolution. The people move revolution. So we must go out and hang out with our friends and meet new people. We can't sit in the caves of solitude and ego. We have to go out and match tech with the humanities, right? So I ask you, what are you doing individually? And ask yourself this out loud. What are you doing to create change with this wonderful gift that we have in technology? Is your activism the extent of your keystroke? What are you doing to make things happen? Are you going out and forging new relationships and meeting new people? Because this is how change happens. We bridge the technological with the humanities. And all those people that I mentioned before, all those great heroes, they were thinkers and writers and speakers and educators, but they were people who were just doing their thing in their time. You can be the next any one of those people by just forging ahead through your work and your humanity. In that deep and delicious conversation I had with my students, and we discovered Frederick Douglass was indeed a blogger, one asked, well, who's the next MLK? Who's the next Frederick Douglass? And very simply, I replied, it's you. Thank you.